Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Testimony continues. Carl DeFay's defense pushes a relative of the man on trial to admit her statements may not have been accurate.
A unique truck used to promote patriotism gets a facelift.
And the Rockford Ice Hogs could wrap up a playoff spot tonight. We are live at the BMO ahead of the game.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. An accused murderer's aunt takes the stand.
She's one of the people who testified in Carl DeFay's trial. We also saw officers talking to DeFay in the interrogation room.
What we're telling you is there's possibly a dead body on the property on Wheeler Road. If there is a dead body on Wheeler Road, Carl, then you've got some explaining to do.
DeFay is charged with the murder of Samantha Swan in 2017. She had been strangled and her body found on his farm. Carl's aunt admitted to doing drugs and drinking when talking to police after the murder. Amy DeFay said she suffered from mental health issues her entire life.
Can you recall those statements?
To the police?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Do you think it's possible, given your mental health issues, you fabricated some of what you said to the police?
Yes, some of that, yes. It won't matter.
Amy told the jury her nephew had said he was still with his wife because, quote, she has something on me that could put me away for life. The trial will continue tomorrow.
Police search for a suspect after an early armed robbery in Rockford. Here's who they're looking for. Investigators say he walked into the Mobil gas station on North Alpine, just north of State, around 4:50 this morning. He showed a gun and demanded cash. The thief was wearing a puffy black coat with a gray hoodie. Sunday, a man wearing a similar coat robbed the CVS on South Alpine. About 4 hours later, a man wearing a tan coat robbed the Walgreens on East State and 9th Street. If you know anything about any of these robberies, call police or upload a tip to Tip 411 on your phone.
Governor J.B. Pritzker promised tax relief in this year's budget, and part of that will come in the form of a check to you. The state will issue stimulus checks to taxpayers who brought in under $200,000 last year, or joint filers who make less than $400,000 combined. The money is based off your tax filing. Individuals will get $50 and joint filers $100. The state will tack on another $100 for each dependent, up to $300. There is no set date for when the checks will go out, but the Department of Revenue will finalize the list in July. The Illinois State Board of Education says it's finally filling those vacant teacher positions. The preliminary data from the survey last fall shows Illinois added 5,676 teachers just this year. The board says this is the most teachers added in a single year than in the past 5 years combined. And it was needed. The statewide teacher vacancy rate reached a low point of 1.5%. There are still over 2,000 positions open.
Gas prices drop slightly. According to AAA, the average for a gallon of regular in the Rockford area is $4.20. That's down about 2 cents from yesterday. Drivers are reporting Sam's Club and Costco have the cheapest gas in our area, $3.79 a gallon. The fast fuel on South State in Belvidere is $3.86. President Biden announces several actions aimed at easing the strain on drivers at the pump. That includes releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. News of that helped drive prices down. Also, the decision to let gas stations sell a higher ethanol blend this summer is also expected to make a difference.
Those drivers that are choosing higher blends of ethanol like E15 are absolutely seeing savings.
To cut gas costs yourself, experts suggest keep your car well maintained and drive conservatively by following the speed limit.
A downtown Rockford building is now considered one of the most endangered historic landmarks in the state. 210 West Jefferson is the former Elks Lodge. It was built in 1912. For decades, it was used as a community space, but has sat vacant since 1990. Landmarks Illinois added the building to its list of most endangered historic places in Illinois, saying the current owner has let the building fall into disrepair. The plan was to turn it into an event space, but that never happened. A judge ordered the owner to demolish the building, worried about safety hazards like falling bricks, but the owner doesn't have the money to do that. The city tells us if the owner fails to demolish the building, it can move forward on its own. Both sides are due back in court next week.
The only public pool in Belvidere will open this summer. After that is up to you. William Grady Pool was built in 1939. It's undergone a lot of renovations and fixes, but the Park District knows that won't last forever. So the agency's asking taxpayers to fill out a survey about what should be done. There are 3 options: doing away with the pool, building a new outdoor aquatic facility, or an indoor one. The Park District says the goal is to continue running the pool as is. This is to plan for the future.
Obviously, we're going to see what grants, what donors, what all of the options are, long-term agreements for people or for different organizations to be able to take some of that tax burden off of the residents. Granted, there probably will need to be some money for any of the options to be put in by taxpayers, and that's why we need their input.
You can fill out the survey until Monday. We have a link on our website, mystateline.com.
A local organization supporting veterans has its mascot back tonight. Miss Glory, the 1989 truck used by Operation Fallen Flags, got a bit of a facelift. For the last month, it was in the shop. Automotive Solutions in Belvidere donated the time and work. Operation Fallen Flags founder Sergeant Nick Parnello says he missed Miss Glory and can't wait to get her back out on the road.
Our biggest job is help vets. The other job is to go to schools, elementary schools, and teach kids about our service and sacrifice of our veterans. The kids love us. The kids love the truck, and it's a wonderful combination.
And when Miss Glory isn't going to schools, she's used to pick up worn-out flags, which are replaced and properly retired. A century-old local movie theater celebrates 100 years of sharing the magic of the big screen.
The Lindo in Freeport opened its doors in 1922. Today, it celebrated its 100th birthday by running the first movie ever shown at the theater. The owner tells us the film had to be converted to digital. Miss Lulu Bett is a 1921 silent comedy. It first screened at the Lindo on April 17th, 1922. There's another showing tonight at 7. Entrance fee is $2.50, the original cost of a ticket.
Ukraine's president says the situation in the southeast part of his country is getting worse.
President Biden met with his military advisors at the White House to plan Washington's next moves. Rashad Hudson is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. The U.S. is slapping even more sanctions on Russia. Today, the Treasury Department sanctioned a Russian bank, and the State Department is restricting the access of about 600 visas. The United Nations says more than 5 million Ukrainians have fled the country since Russia invaded 8 weeks ago.
This is a staggering amount of people that have had to leave their homes, their possessions, in some cases family members behind.
As refugees flow in, Poland is working with its allies, including the United States, to get military supplies across its eastern border into Ukraine.
You have helped the Ukrainian people fight for their country and escape from the horrors of war.
While meeting with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Poland's defense minister thanked the U.S. for its military leadership and for standing with its NATO allies.
I believe that the U.S. active defense policy and leadership is crucial in preventing the Kremlin from any hostile acts against NATO members.
To assist those still trapped in Ukraine, some are calling for a humanitarian corridor to be established, but Secretary of State Antony Blinken isn't sure it will be effective.
What gives pause is the fact that there have been agreements on humanitarian corridors established before that have fallen apart very, very quickly, if not immediately.
And Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. will assist where it can with setting up a humanitarian corridor. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, we're currently tracking those rain showers now moving into the area across here this afternoon. We're watching those associated with this low pressure system now moving in. A couple of embedded thunderstorms, especially off to our south and to our west. We're watching those closely as we get on here rest of this evening. We might hear a couple of rumbles of thunder during the evening and overnight hours as these rain showers continue to move through. We're also watching this wind. We have this wind coming out of the southwest, anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour for the wind gusts. On our SkyTrack camera here, we see that cloudy conditions as well as the wind there at the flagpole at the Park Hills Golf Course in Freeport. We are seeing those winds anywhere from 20 to close to 30 miles an hour. Rochelle, 30 mile an hour wind speed. That's excluding the gust that we are seeing there. Those potential wind gusts up close to 35 miles an hour will continue to calm down as we get later on into this evening. And then we'll actually see calmer winds during the next day tomorrow, but then the winds pick back up as another weather system works its way in for Friday. And we are also seeing the system here that's working in, bringing a lot of this wind up. Much warmer temperatures off to our west. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any of that warmth, at least for the next couple of days, but we might see a little bit of a hint of it tomorrow. Now, right now, we are seeing those temperatures still a little bit on the cooler side, down in the 40s, 48 here in Rockford, 47 in Rochelle, and 46 in DeKalb. Those cooler temperatures that we've had throughout this afternoon, hovering right around those 40-degree mark. Haven't really seen anywhere quite get to the 50-degree mark just yet. Temperatures tonight with those cloudier conditions only drop down to 44, hanging on to those rain chances as well. Might see a couple rumbles of thunder for the overnight as well. Now, by the time we get to tomorrow morning, though, most of those rain showers will have moved out. We actually get sunnier conditions for the afternoon as temperatures rise into the upper 60s, even near the 70-degree mark. So let's time all this out with Futurecast here. We see those rain showers continuing here through the overnight tonight. Most of those will be pretty well moved out as we get later on into tomorrow morning, though, when we'll see some just cloudy conditions by the time we wake up. Those clouds then move out as we get clearer conditions for the afternoon and temperatures into the upper 60s. A lot more cloud cover then moves its way in ahead of another weather system there on Friday associated with a warm front, and then a cold front passes. It brings our temperatures back down. So let's time that out here. We see the warm front for Friday just south of the viewing area. If that warm front lifts a little bit further north, that could bring us a little bit warmer temperatures there for the day on Friday, but if it hovers just a little bit further south, we could be stuck in the 60s. After that moves out, we have much cooler temperatures moving their way in for the rest of the week into early next week. So let's check out our weekend outlook here for Friday. We do have those rain chances with chance of thunderstorms as well with that warm front. Saturday, we're near the 80-degree mark, isolated thunderstorms with all that warmth and moisture that we're working in. And then Sunday, once again, we have more widespread rain chances with a chance of those, including thunderstorms in that as well. Over our next 7 days, we are watching those temperatures in the 60s over the next couple days. Rain likely there on Friday with a chance for thunderstorms. 80 degrees for Saturday, but with that comes those isolated thunderstorm chances. And then after the weekend, we're back down into the 50s, even the upper 40s as we get later on into the week. So we do have that tease of warm weather, at least for Saturday. But then, guys, we're back down into the 40s and 50s heading into the early and middle part of next week.
Now sports with Sports Director Scott Lever.
Hello from the BMO Harris Bank Center, where tonight the Ice Hogs will be hosting the Grand Rapids Griffins. This is game number 63 of the regular season, but this isn't just another regular season game, because tonight, if the Ice Hogs win this game, they will clinch a spot in the Calder Cup playoffs. Their magic number for clinching is 2 points. Thus, if they get the win, they're in. They're gonna, you have to like their chances really tonight, because they're playing great lately. They got another win last night on the road over the Chicago Wolves. And if they win tonight, they will also climb to 10 games over the 500 mark. The Griffins have given the Ice Hogs problems so far this season, though. The Hogs are only 2-5 against them. That's despite the fact that the Griffins are in last place in the Central Division. Captain Garrett Mitchell says, as good as the Ice Hogs have been lately, they're capable of playing even better.
We're so young that we don't realize how good we are yet. I think there's still spots that we can be better, and but coming into a playoff run, you want to be trending in the right direction, and for us right now, we're doing that. It's been a lot of fun.
Both teams could be a little bit weary tonight because both were in action last night. The Griffins, they lost to the Iowa Wild. Well, it's also a big night for the Chicago Bulls. They're back up in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks in Game 2 of their playoff series. The Bulls battled hard in Game 1 last Sunday night, but came up short. Alex Caruso, though, is encouraged by the way the Bulls played.
I think we're in a good spot. I think we executed for the most part what we wanted to execute. Would like to see a couple more shots go in. Can't always control that. There's a couple things we can shore up. I'm sure there's a couple things the Bucks say that they can shore up and come back to see what happens in game 2. But I mean, overall mood's we're in a good spot. It's a long series.
What an afternoon of high school basketball memories it was at Boylan High School. The Basketball Museum of Illinois brought together 4 of our local Hall of Famers for an afternoon of storytelling and reminiscing. Former West High state champion Rex Parker was one of them. Recently retired Winnebago girls coach Judy Krause was another. Current Winnebago boys coach Joe Murphy also spoke, and so did longtime Boylan boys coach Steve Gores. Gores is the 3rd winningest coach in Illinois boys basketball history with 881 wins. He was recently named one of the 30 most influential people in Illinois boys basketball history. Gores spent 39 years total as a head coach, and I asked him what attracted him to coaching for so long.
A lot of people in various vocations, they go to work every day. I went to play every day. This was my passion. We had a saying here when we had basketball camp, you come here as a boy, when you leave here you'll be a man. So we try to teach the hard work ethic not only on the basketball floor, but in the classroom.
I'll be posting my entire interview with Coach Gores at mystateline.com later tonight. Baseball today, the White Sox got beat by the Guardians 11-1 in the first game of a doubleheader. They're now playing game 2. Cubs hoping to play ball tonight against the Rays. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Jordan, we'll have a final look at weather in just a moment.
First, here's what's coming later on News Nation.
New polling on America's border crisis, what solution Congress refuses to consider. Plus, as the White House warns 500,000 illegal immigrants a month will head across the Rio Grande, who America blames for the problem. That's On Balance. Here's Marnie.
Thanks, Leland. The road is home for a lot of truck drivers, but it's not what you'd expect. Tonight, News Nation rides shotgun on a 400-mile journey, exposing just what these drivers deal with on a daily basis and why even sleeping can be stressful. Our salute to truck drivers continues on News Nation Prime.
That's all coming up later on News Nation. Catch it on the cable and satellite stations you see here.
We're continuing to watch those rain showers moving through on our first run interactive radar from Rockford, Auto Glass, and more. Those rain showers, though, will end by the time that we get later on into the overnight tonight. We're talking about much warmer temperatures tomorrow, back up into the upper 60s. Those temperatures then drop back down after the weekend, after we get up to 80 degrees on Saturday. Some thunderstorm chances throughout the weekend as well. Then as we head into the back half of the week, our temperatures tumble back down into the 50s and 60s and even 40 degrees for the time we get to Wednesday. So we're talking about much colder temperatures to start off next week.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
And thank you for spending time with us. Stay safe.